What if a simple stop at a fast food restaurant changed someone's life forever? On a chilly autumn evening in downtown Cleveland, Donald Trump's motorcade pulled into a nearly empty KFC parking lot. Despite his security team's concerns, he insisted on stopping. As the neon lights flickered and the scent of fried chicken filled the air, he noticed a pregnant woman huddled in the corner of the building, wrapped in a thin blanket. Her name was Sarah Martinez, 8 months pregnant and homeless after losing her husband in a tragic accident. Moved by her story, Trump made a decision that would change everything. In that moment, a simple act of kindness set off a chain of events that gave Sarah a second chance at life. This is a story of generosity, resilience, and how one unexpected encounter can make a world of difference. On a chilly autumn evening in downtown Cleveland, Donald Trump's motorcade pulled into a nearly empty KFC parking lot. The neon lights cast a warm glow over the pavement, and the smell of fried chicken filled the air. His security team advised against stopping, but Trump was adamant. He wanted to step inside. As he got out of his vehicle, something caught his eye. Huddled in the corner of the building was a woman wrapped in a thin, worn blanket. Her long, dark hair was tangled, and exhaustion was etched across her face. She was visibly pregnant, her hands resting on her swollen belly for warmth. This was Sarah Martinez. Just weeks away from giving birth, she had lost everything. Her husband had died in a construction accident, and with no insurance payout, she was evicted from her home. A trained nurse, she had been unable to work due to pregnancy complications, and now spent her nights moving between shelters and fast food restaurants, trying to stay safe. The Secret Service agents moved to steer Trump away, urging him not to get involved. But he waved them off. "Let me talk to her," he said, walking toward Sarah. She looked up, startled to see the former president standing before her. Struggling to stand, she braced herself, but Trump motioned for her to stay seated. "What's your name?" he asked, crouching down beside her. When she told him her story, he listened intently. Then, after a long pause, he made a decision, one that would change her life forever. Sarah Martinez had once built a stable life for herself. She was a trained nurse, passionate about helping others, and had a future filled with promise. But everything changed when her husband died in a tragic construction accident. Grief-stricken and pregnant, she faced another devastating blow. The insurance company denied her claim, leaving her with nothing. Unable to keep up with rent, she was evicted from her home. With no family to turn to and nowhere to go, she was forced to seek shelter wherever she could. At first, she moved between different shelters, but space was limited and conditions were harsh. Eventually, she found herself spending nights in fast food restaurants, staying just long enough to warm up before being asked to leave. With each passing day, survival became harder. Hunger gnawed at her, exhaustion weighed her down, and the cold autumn nights made everything worse. But despite it all, she held on, refusing to give up. As she sat outside that KFC, she never imagined that someone like Donald Trump would notice her, let alone stop to talk. When he crouched beside her and gently asked about her situation, she hesitated at first. Then, with a deep breath, she told him everything. She was 8 months pregnant, just 3 weeks away from giving birth, and had no idea what she would do when the baby arrived. Her voice wavered as she spoke, but her eyes held a quiet strength. She had fought to make it this far, but now she was running out of options. For the first time in a long time, someone was listening, and she had no idea just how much her life was about to change. Trump didn't hesitate. He helped Sarah to her feet and guided her inside the KFC, where the warm air and the scent of fried chicken provided a momentary comfort. The restaurant staff fell silent as they watched the former president walk in with a homeless, pregnant woman by his side. He led her to a corner booth and told her to order whatever she wanted. Moments later, a tray filled with crispy chicken, mashed potatoes, coleslaw, and warm biscuits was placed in front of her. Sarah tried to eat slowly, but hunger overpowered her. Trump noticed and reassured her, "Take your time. There's plenty more where that came from." As Sarah ate, Trump pulled out his phone. He had already made up his mind. He wasn't going to walk away without helping her. First, he called David Anderson, an old friend who owned a chain of hotels in Cleveland. Within minutes, a room was secured for Sarah in a furnished extended stay suite, a safe and comfortable place where she could rest before the baby arrived. Next, he contacted Dr. Lisa Chen, one of the top obstetricians at the Cleveland Clinic. When he explained Sarah's situation, Dr. Chen immediately agreed to take over her prenatal care at no cost. Then Trump dialed Michael Roberts, a high-profile lawyer who specialized in insurance claims. He laid out Sarah's case and demanded action. Roberts assured him he would fight to get the benefits she had been denied. Finally, Trump made one more call, to the director of Cleveland General Hospital. "I've got a great nurse here who wants to work," he said. After a brief conversation, the hospital agreed to reinstate Sarah once she was ready, offering her a flexible schedule and on-site childcare for her baby. Trump put his phone away and looked at Sarah. "I want to help you," he said, "but you have to trust me. Will you?" With tears in her eyes, Sarah nodded. For the first time in a long time, she had hope. 3 months later, Trump returned to Cleveland. This time, he wasn't stopping at a fast food restaurant. He was walking through the doors of Cleveland General Hospital. As he stepped into the bright, bustling lobby, he spotted Sarah Martinez waiting for him, holding a tiny bundle in her arms. She looked different now, healthier, well-dressed, and smiling. In her arms was her newborn daughter, wrapped in a soft pink blanket. "Mr. Trump," Sarah said, stepping forward, "I want you to meet Luna Hope Martinez." Trump reached out, gently touching the baby's tiny hand. "Hope, that's a beautiful middle name," he said with a smile. Sarah nodded. "It seemed right. You gave us both hope that night." Over the past few months, her life had transformed completely. Thanks to the hotel Trump arranged, she had a safe place to stay until she was back on her feet. Dr. Chen had provided excellent prenatal care, ensuring both she and Luna remained healthy. And just weeks ago, Michael Roberts had won her case, forcing the insurance company to pay out the money she had been owed all along. With the financial burden lifted, she was able to move into a small apartment of her own. Most importantly, she had returned to work as a nurse at Cleveland General Hospital. The flexible hours allowed her to balance her job with caring for Luna, who spent her days at the hospital's child care center. As she stood there, holding her daughter, Sarah's eyes were filled with gratitude. She had come so close to losing everything, but now she had a future again. And it all started with a chance encounter in a KFC parking lot. As they walked through the hospital hallways, Sarah turned to Trump with a knowing smile. "There's something else I want to show you," she said. Leading him to a small room near the emergency department, she pushed open the door, revealing a cozy but well-organized space filled with bulletin boards, pamphlets, and shelves stocked with essential supplies. A sign above the entrance read, "Martinez's Hope Project." Trump stepped inside, scanning the walls, which were covered with success stories, photos and notes from families Sarah had already helped. "After everything you did for me," she explained, "I knew I had to pay it forward. So I started this." The program connected struggling families with resources, from housing assistance and job training to medical care and childcare support. In just a few months, we've already helped 12 families find homes and jobs, she continued, her voice filled with pride. "People just need a chance, the same way you gave me one." Trump looked around the room, nodding in approval. He had helped Sarah, and now she was helping others. It was a full-circle moment. Without hesitation, he pulled out his checkbook. "Let's make sure this keeps going," he said, writing a check to fund the project for the next 5 years. Sarah's eyes welled with tears. "I don't know how to thank you," she said softly. "You already have," Trump replied, glancing back at the sign on the wall. "You kept your promise." As he left the hospital that day, Trump couldn't help but smile. What started as a simple stop at a KFC parking lot had sparked something much bigger, a chain of kindness that would continue changing lives for years to come. This story is a powerful reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness can create a ripple effect. A single moment of compassion, a simple decision to stop and listen, set off a chain of events that changed not just one life, but many. Sarah was given a second chance, and in turn, she dedicated herself to helping others in need. It all started in a KFC parking lot, but its impact will last for years to come. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring content. Your support helps us bring you more stories of hope, kindness, and resilience. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the biggest changes start in the most unexpected places.